multimedia personality, comedic commentator, songwriter, recording artist, spiritual leader, author, and actor. Larry D. Reid is the founder of the MBN Network, owner of LDR Enterprises based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and the spiritual leader of the Reformation Church of Atlanta. You can catch Larry Reid on the BET Plus original series Kingdom Business and on American Gangsta Trap Queens. Streaming online at BET.plus. The MBN Network is a nonprofit organization based in Atlanta, Georgia. We are a streaming, radio, and ministry network funded by a network of partners that are professionals, technicians, entrepreneurs, and entertainers from around the world. Become a member of Patreon today at patreon.com/Larry Reid Live to gain access to all that the NBN Network has to offer. On Sundays, tune in for prayer, prophecy, and coaching call. Available for Patreon members only. Join in on the morning meditation and prayer call open to the public Monday through Friday. On Monday evenings, catch the digital entertainment news show, Larry Reid Live, as Dr. Reid discusses an array of topics with a raw, humorous, and controversial approach. Get informed and inspired on Tier 2 Tuesdays for Tier 2 Patreon members only. Wednesday night breakdown with Dr. Reid, the virtual prophets, pastoral counselors, and coaches available for Tier 2 patron members only. Participate in Therapy Thursdays and Financial Fridays for all tiers inside of Patreon only. Saturdays, rest and be with your family. Become a member today by logging on to patreon.com/Larry Reid Live today. Join with people from around the world praying 15 minutes Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by calling 667-770-1402, code 974-8029 #. Church Critic by Dr. Larry D. Reid. An examination of the Larry Reid Live show perspective. Purchase a copy today by logging on to LarryReidLive.com. That's LarryReidLive.com. Stay connected to Larry Reid Live. Take a moment and like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the bell. Text LRL to 404-999-7527. That's the words LRL to 404-999-7527. And get notified when we go live. Become a member of Patreon. Log on to patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Sign up, then download the Patreon app and turn on your notifications. Get connected today.
We're about to have a conversation.
Hi, my name is Larry D. Reid, and I'm the host of Larry Reid Live, your most favorite digital entertainment and news talk show that is out here on these social media streets. I am in my bedroom. I'm not in the studio. I had a thought. Actually, it was a conversation. Whenever I pop up and I do these lives and I'm in my bedroom, it's something that hit my mind, and I just want to talk about it just for a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. In the comment section, please hit like, share with other viewers on whatever social media platform you like. And also, if you like what I'm saying, you can always donate to the MBN Network. It is tax deductible. Cash App is $MBN Network. So there's 2 N's. Make sure that's spelled right because there's some imposters. So you can do that. And claim it on your taxes. Every content creator, when you donate, don't have that extra added little benefit. You can always claim it. I want to talk about spiritual and religious confusion, and give me just a few minutes It's hot in my room, so my glasses are fogging up. Let me see. Hey, how you doing? 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 Okay, really quick. There's some danger that I see on this darn internet, TikTok, and even YouTube and IG and Facebook. It's everywhere. And there's these people that are popping up doing tarot card reading. They're also doing astrology. They're also talking about some of the Egyptian religions, even some of the ones we're familiar with, Taoism, Buddhism, Islam, Muslim practices. And I think it's great. The upside is that all these people have these different paths that they take to get to God. And I studied a whole lot of different religions. Hey, Brian, how you doing? I studied a whole lot of different religions on purpose, although I was raised in the Christian community. But I've married my Christian beliefs and all the African spirituality traditions together. Jesus Christ still is at the center, and my humanity of my spirituality. And I think everybody can choose whatever path they want, whatever they desire, however they want to practice their religion or spiritual path. I happen to believe that any purely practiced religion is the path to God that I call Jesus, that is love. So if you're in any religious practice that's not based around loving yourself and loving others and not bringing any harm to yourself and not bringing harm to anyone else, I think you're in a good religion, whatever it is. For me, it's Jesus and Christianity. But there's a problem because I'm seeing a lot of you that are deconstructing and decolonizing in your Christian faith, and then embracing these other practices, spiritual and religious practices from other places. And I don't want to plant no fear, because that's not what I'm trying to do, just caution. And this is the caution. See, when you have had a bad experience in anything, relationship or your religion, you need to take time and heal your person. You need to heal your trauma so that obviously you're not walking around here with a gaping soul or spiritual wound, but also the part of you that was traumatized and wounded, you got to get to know that part separate from the wound and the trauma. What I am promoting and what I'm also raising a question mark over is, how well do you know yourself? Put in the chat, I must know me. In June and May, in my community, our community, we have been talking about the mastery, money, business, spirituality, body, health, everything. And when I started out June, I kept hearing mastering me. And I realized, it would probably been good if I had started here and then went to those things. Because people trying to be masters in astrology, masters in the prophetic, masters in their religion, masters in whatever practice they have, and they don't know who the hell they is. Let me tell y'all something. It's dangerous. Dangerous when you attempt to embrace a spiritual practice or religious belief and you don't know who you are. You need to know who you are, and you need to heal from your trauma first. Now, a lot of us that's been raised in Black America, Black church, we were born into a religious practice like I was. There's some great things that come as a result, but there are a lot of things that are not so good as a result because we didn't do well in our family with talking about who you are, separate from your religion, separate from spirituality. We didn't do well about talking about what we went through in the family and what we're dealing with. And so all of that was hush-hush, but they pushed the religion and the spiritual practices, which made us acquiesce to these practices, and in many cases, split our personality, develop a whole nother one that's disassociated from our core person, and create a whole nother reality. Yo, this is happening a whole lot. A whole lot. And it gets cloaked. See, you guys probably are familiar with it in a church, but you can go into a spiritual community where there's practicing meditation, astrology, other different practices, and building an altar, and money management, money magic, and manifestation, and still be frucked. You can be into other religious paths, and and now you call God by another name, the light, the source. I don't know, anything, Buddha, Ra, whatever you want to call, but you still frucked. You frucked because you haven't dealt with the pain that you suffered as a child from the molestation, from your parents divorcing, from you getting violated, from being bullied. You're a misfit. And I believe misfits, when they heal and they uncover and discover, they become great mystics and sages and leaders and deliverers. But you can't reach for the religion and the spirituality without or before you begin to heal your person and your trauma and understand who the hell you are. Y'all, I'm telling you. And it's horrible. And I have pastored in the religious church for 20 years. Then I shifted into basically pastoring and mentoring and being the personal prophet and counselor for artists, for entrepreneurs, and people that have high power jobs and are in the top 10% in our community. That's who I'm dealing with now, artists and actors and playwrights and and professionals of all type and technicians. And I still see it there. We have to grab somebody and shake them up and say, wait a minute. Yes, the meditation is good. You participating in money magic. You say manifestation that is happening, and you're doing well in all of the spiritual arts and the mystic arts. But you still have a problem in your character, in your person, that needs to be addressed, and you're not doing the counseling and therapy that you need to do in order to be well enough to participate. At the center of spirituality is your humanity. So if you're in any spiritual practice that separates you from your humanity, you about to be frucked to the highest heavens. And it's a whole problem, you guys. And we really need to help each other in our different communities. Let me just I'm going to give you this, just 6 things. And what's the date? June the 4th of 2024. And what I'm about to give you is worth hundreds of dollars. But the only thing I'm going to ask you to do is to support our business, our ministry, what we do, MBN Network. It's a 501c3 nonprofit. So if you get anything out of what I've already said and what I'm about to say, make sure before you get off, before you go to bed tonight, that you send $8.88. And these 8s, if you turn them on the side, it's infinity. If you turn them on the side, it's 2 eyes. So these 3 8s are going to give you 6 eyeballs, 3 sets of eyes to look and peer into the mirror of me, you. Okay? So let me give you 6 things, 6 dangers to not knowing yourself before you embrace a spiritual or religious practice. Okay? Thank you for putting the Cash App in there over and over. $8.88. Number 1, identity confusion, and put it in the chat. This is a spiritual danger when you don't know who the hell you are and you're trying to embrace a religious or spiritual practice. Number one is identity confusion. I wrote them down. Without a clear sense of self, these glasses keep fogging up. Without a clear sense of self, you might adopt beliefs and practices, thank you for writing it in there, that really conflict with your core values, your personal identity, which leads to some kind of internal conflict. What do you mean? Let's suppose you are a black man, a black woman, and you join a Christian church and you're a Christian. You may begin to adapt or adopt beliefs that we have in Christianity that are not biblically based, they're not sound, but it's just a belief that we have in the community. And that belief could create an internal conflict. One belief that we have in Christianity is that gays are going to hell. Another one is that men are over women. Another one that we have is that if you marry twice, you're going to hell. That's adultery. Another one and the list can go on and on and on and on and on and on. But what if you find out as you're a practicing Christian that you're one of those women that have a strong calling, you're very masculine in your femininity, and so you're like a boss chick. You're 6 figures going to 7 figures, and you get married and you feel as though there's some kind of war with the man that you married. No. The reality is what you adopted and what he adopted doesn't work in that dynamic because it requires for you to dumb yourself down in order for him to feel like he's more and bigger than the woman because he's the head. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of you have adopted or adapted and acquiesced to certain beliefs, and you may find some measure of it in the Bible, but the community is so strong in that doctrine to where you feel like, oh, I just don't have men to pick from. No, you're in the wrong field being picked or picking. Identity confusion. Now you got this confusion in your view of yourself because of what you have embraced, the kind of religion you embrace, or the kind of doctrine in that community or culture that you have embraced. See what I'm saying? Two things wrong. The community and what they teach and the culture of that community and that religious Christian sect, SECT, and you. Because you have a responsibility as it relates to your own identity, and you really shouldn't be listening to what somebody else is telling you are. You need to look in the mirror and find out for your darn self. So it's on the community and it's on you. But we don't like to talk about that because we'd rather just put it on Christianity or just put it on the church and church people. You see. Number 2. Significant danger when you embrace a religion or a spiritual practice and you don't know who the hell you is. Manipulation. Number 2 is manipulation. People who lack self-awareness are more vulnerable to manipulation by charismatic, strong-willed, smart, intelligent, gifted leaders of groups who may not, let's not make their gift and their power wrong. But we have to pay attention to the fact that these leaders may not always have your best interest. So when you have somebody who is gifted and anointed and charismatic and intelligent and brilliant and multi-gifted, and they're your leader, you don't need to be picking leaders on gift. You need to be picking leaders on character. Because if If they may hit and miss with their gift, but their character need to be right. They need to be honest, straightforward, don't leave you guessing. And you pretty much feel like you know who they are, the man and the minister. Now see, that's something else. Some people don't like to know the man behind the ministry. I require knowing the man behind the ministry because I've been around gifted people my whole life who can't be trusted with $2. Gifted people, but you can't trust them around your sisters or your sons. You see? And see, this is dangerous when people get into these religious communities and they don't know who they are and they broken and traumatized. And now they get with this leader who's very gifted and who ain't no bad person, but the character just ain't there. So they end up doing something really human, which could be very ugly on a leader when they do it. Now you hurt. You see? It's a whole mess. A whole mess. Thirdly, another danger when you embrace religion and spiritual practices and not know who you are is the loss of individuality. Meaning you don't know yourself. And when you do not, when you do not know yourself, there's an over-reliance on external guidance. And that makes it difficult for you to have independent decision-making and independent judgment. You always have to refer. There is nothing wrong with having access and covenant in a space where you can. But we're talking about you can't do it on your own. Autonomy, gone, does not exist. You have an over-reliance because you're not a complete individual. You're a half person. Number 4. And I got for 6. I'm almost done. Well, your $8.88. I'm about to get on up out of here. Avoidance. And what do you mean? You use spiritual practices to avoid dealing with personal issues. You use the spiritual practices to avoid sitting in your emotional wounds. That hinders personal growth and it thwarts healing. Because you say, I'm going to pray about it. No, I'm going to tell you this. If there's anything you're praying about and you don't have a practice surrounding that prayer request, you're in avoidance. We can pray about everything. But for everything we're praying about, we need to have a practice that is a follow-up to guard ourselves against avoidance or over-reliance on the external force. And that can even be God, not just the pastor and the prophet. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? I'm giving a whole lot free like y'all my patrons and people I'm supposed to be serving 2-3 times a week. But I'm just going to hand you this. But you need to hand me that $8.88 too. And then you probably need to join my Patreon. I'm going to be in there talking tomorrow and teaching and answering questions. And you join there by going to patreon.com/Larry Live. For all you be asking, can you be my mentor? Can you be my mentor? Nope. Not until or unless you're in Patreon and you're with me 2-3 times a week already. I can't mentor you from zero. You have to come into my community first, you know, and stay in there a while, probably about 6 months to a year, and really be a good student. Then I'll give you what my coaching and mentorship program is. But it's too darn much bringing you from zero. It's too much because y'all pastors sorry. And I don't know what the hell y'all is doing there. I don't know what y'all doing, but your coaches and your mentors, when I get hold of y'all, I'm like, well, what the hell have you been doing all this long time? And why? I can't help you. You're too dumb. You're just too low. I can't do that. All right, I'm going to go ahead on. Number 5. Number 5, unhealthy attachments. What am I talking about? The dangers of embracing a spiritual practice, a religious practice, and you don't know who the hell you are. That's a problem. You develop unhealthy attachments. Without self-awareness, you're more than likely going to develop unhealthy attachments to particular people and practices and probably the community itself. what's going to be difficult to break when it comes to you healing. Because let me tell you, when it comes to your personal path of healing and deliverance and decolonization and deconstruction and reprogramming and re-education, you're going to have to stop all the bullshit that you have been doing that contributed to your craziness. And you may need that community. The community will be a great community. You learn so much. But because you put it in a certain place and you attach to it in an unhealthy way, now you got to break that attachment so you can go get yourself together. The community is great, but you came in with your trauma, with your emptiness, being an avoider, being confusing your identity, and you attach in an unhealthy way. It ain't that community fault. It's your fault. And I think we need to have conversations around this. $8.88. I know this is good because I'm very good at what I do. But you're not going to sit here and rob me. I mean, my ministry, you've been going over there. This won't be doing stuff out here free. All right. Last one. My last one. This is my last one. My last one. Lack of discernment. And this is important. You cannot discern between what is good and what is not good, what is right and what is wrong, when you don't have a strong sense of self, because that is crucial. When you don't have a strong sense of self, you may engage in a practice that is actually harmful for you. All right, we all going on a fast. Or 2-day fast. Oh yes, we all doing this. I want to be more spiritual. I want to be more da. You a diabetic. Oh, but I'm a person of faith. Okay, but do you not know what's going on in your body? You need to go consult with your doctor to make sure that coming off food altogether for 2 days, you ain't gonna end up in a terrible place. See, discernment, I know there's a gift of discerning the spirits, but I'm talking about just discernment. Discernment comes from your practice. It comes from your level of education, your level of exposure. It's all predicated upon who you are and what you are. Everybody's discernment comes out of their personal experience. Have you been paying attention in life? When you were on the street, when you were in that relationship, did you pay attention to what you experienced and what happened? Yeah, you were in the traumatic relationship, but did you learn from it? If you didn't learn from it and you didn't educate yourself from that experience, you know you're going to leave that relationship and go right into another relationship and choose the same crazy mother. You're going to do the same thing. That's because you lack discernment. So that's why you personally need to do whatever you got to do to educate yourself, grow yourself. You got to have some kind of personal growth regimen. Just like people run to the gym all the time, you need to be running to a space on a daily place to really check on your mind, your wealth consciousness, your wellness consciousness, your mind consciousness, all of that. And so I just wanted to share that because I looked on the TikTok, and it actually was one video somebody sent me of someone that I used to coach. And it was bothersome because I can look in their eyes and tell, okay, you ain't okay as a person. Your religion is what it is. Your religion, hey, have at it. But you don't need to be in any religious practice, any spiritual practice, and you do not know who you are and getting well. That is separate from your spiritual and religious practice. What I think folk do, they use their religious and spiritual practice as their core wellness regimen. Please don't do that. Your core wellness regimen should come out of the therapeutic processes that you are doing with yourself and probably with the help of a professional. Your spiritual wellness community or spiritual support community, that's for your advancement in your career, in your calling, That's for your growth. You need to do that healing work personally with the professional and with yourself. You need to do that first. Before you get in the community or get with a great guru, fuck up the relationship and fuck your own self up at the same time. Now, don't say I ain't did nothing for you, but you're not going to rob me. $8.88 to the MBN network. And it's tax deductible. If you just heard me say something that helped you a whole lot. And send this video to somebody that's spiritually confused. Send this video to somebody that's spiritually fucked to the high heavens. And you know they messed up. But they trying. But they over-reliance too much on that spiritual stuff and that religious practice. When they need us go with you to the bar, sit down across the table from you and just empty. That's right, I said the bar. I mean, just let me tell you, ain't that what Jesus did? I ain't never seen Jesus run into nobody churches put nobody on this couch. He said, sit down on that rock. And let me tell you this, listen to him. And told him a whole bunch of lies. We call them parables. Told him a whole bunch of lies that they could learn from. So that was a good lesson-filled lie, master. I know it was. Now go get yourself together. And when you get yourself together, then after that, then go show yourself to the priest. And say, I don't know what Bible y'all reading, but that's what mine said. If you don't like it, tear it out. It's in there. Oh my God. We got to marry some practicality to our spirituality. And then we also got to marry some clinical aspects. And this is in my first book, Let the Church Say Change. And I had amen marked down. I don't think I got that over here. No. But it's online. We got to marry that. Some practical and clinical approaches alongside of our spiritual and religious practices, because y'all looking real strange. And folk that got eyes like mine, because I ain't the only one, can look at you and in seconds be like, oh, see what that is. May enjoy aspects of your ministry, aspects of your gift, but clear. You got the gift of Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston, but you also got that pill-popping pain that you are medicating with something. And that is not okay for you. For us, it may not matter because we just like the way you sing, the way you dance. We entertain, we love you. But we love you, the person, not just what you give us. And we want you to be well, Whitney. We want you to be well, Mike. And we see those stories and we don't bring them down to our regular smegular life. We know people like that who ain't okay. And we just have a good time with them because they laugh, they funny, we have a good time. We even have a good time with their bodies. But you know they ain't okay. And you're going to be a contributor to humanity and let that go on your watch. You better send them this video and say, I know you got something going on. I love you a whole lot more than your gift and what you give me. I want you to get all right. So give them this video as a gift. It ain't Christmas, but it is today on June the 4th. Give it to them as a Christmas gift. Christmas in June. All right. I'll see y'all later.
Hey, I'm still here, but let me say this to you. You only can see. Make sure each and every one of you that enjoyed and you like to do the $8.88, and in the memo put your phone number so that we can call you, especially if you're first time. If it's your first time watching the Larry platform, and I'm not discussing P. Diddy or whatever is going on in the world, make sure you let me know in the chat it's your very first time donating so that I can let the team know. Because for those first time donors, we have special treatment for the first time donors. And I want to know in the comment section right quick, what did you get out of what I said? It just crossing my mind. And because somebody sent me something on the internet, and this person is, giving examples and what have you, about their spiritual practices. And I'm looking at them in the eyeball. I'm saying, you look lost. I said, you don't even know who you are. Now, what you're saying is pretty good. but I can look at you and tell, bro, you don't even know who you are. You don't even you don't even know who you are. So I say, I think it's very important for people to know who they are before they get in any religious or spiritual practice they start identifying with, because there's an over reliance on that religion and that spiritual practice for wellness, when I think it's more important for us to make sure people are okay within themselves and know who they are before or alongside or whatever we may give them as a religious or spiritual practice for their advancement. And that's a problem. I think a lot of the conversation we hear people talking about church hurt, I think, and I'm not saying that in all cases, but a lot of that stuff, it be people who went to the church, develop an unhealthy attachment to the church and to the minister, and then the church or the minister did something really human or real regular, like let's see, I don't know, maybe they pastor got a divorce. I don't know, maybe I don't know, the first lady ended up praying about one of the male members, and I mean, it becomes really really bad because of how we view people that go to church. But if church would just change its, would expand its paradigm and really get people really well as humans and really give them some tools surrounding that. I mean, because the church and the community is supposed to become, it's supposed to be a gathering of people who are a reflection of Christ. But how can we be that when we fruct and we got trauma, unhealed, unaddressed issues? So I think the church moving forward is going to have to master both practicality and clinical alongside of the spiritual and religious. If they do not, the church is going to evaporate and people aren't going to go because they're not being helped. They're going to the other places to get the help. Now, this is what I think. Okay, Tanya Elbert says, very profound teaching. I've never heard this before. Thank you for your insights, and my offering is on the way. Thank you. You see, that's how you're supposed to do. Tanya, a good example. If you got something out of it, contribute. Don't be on these YouTube streets just taking. This was so real. In my former church practice, there was an overemphasis on I'm a Christian, or like they're an adopted Jew, or Jesus is their new identity. Your actual cultural ID disappeared. Whoa, man, that's how it is, ain't it? That's a problem. Man, you end up with a whole bunch of crazy folk in the pew. Ask me how I know. Yeah, so let's all together as a community, one person at a time, see if we can't fix this and raise the conversation around it. If you're a YouTuber, you ain't got to mention me. I mean, but if you're kind and nice, you can mention me. Say, okay, Larry started this conversation, but we're gonna talk about it some more. Open up your platform, let people call in and have that discussion and talk about it. Maybe it'll help the community some. All right. Spread it around. This ain't nothing where we talking about what's happening in the community. So that's why thousands of people ain't on. But this is something that we all need to hear. So we have to do a little bit work. Salvation Air says, I found myself in your teaching. Thank you. Great. Now spread what you learned to somebody else. Willie Fordham, how do you know, bruh? I pastored. You see, I'm 46. I got saved at 15. I started preaching at 17. Started pastoring. It's right in between 18 and 19. So that's how long. I've been working with people for years. I'm not crazy. You definitely can't lean on any religious practice or person for your healing, because 9 out of 10 you don't get what you really. Okay, Lisa Matt. She's speaking from her experience. Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing, let me see what you saying. Oh, you finishing a statement. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right. Anybody got a question? I can answer your question while I'm laying here. I put it up. Just put it in the chat and I put it up. But you gotta go fast because y'all know I don't have a whole lot of sit around and wait in me. I don't have a lot of that. Y'all see this picture up here? This white woman going through it. She going through it. She's in a state of confusion and trauma. And then she tried to implement religious and spiritual practices that have failed her because they were not designed to, how am I say this? And this is going to be difficult to understand. It wasn't designed to heal nobody. This is for your advancement and for your growth. And getting to know, more about yourself as relates to who you are, and that healing thing, that trauma thing, that you need something else, another kind of practice beside that. Now, let's see, Dr. Reid, what lotion were you wearing? Because that skin looked like milk chocolate. It was actually a black-owned product. God, I wish I knew his information off top. It's one of the partners in the community. Her husband, her name is Crystal. Her husband has a business, and it's a scrub. It's a body scrub. Man, that thing is right too. It have you smelling up real nicely, even before you put your cologne and stuff on. And it's for women and for men. I can't think of it. I wish one of them was in here to tell you. Yeah. Someone said, can God be telling you something different from what a prophet tells you? Of course. Definitely. I mean, because if this is the prophet saying, thus saith the Lord, or is the prophet saying, this is what I see and what I think? If the prophet saying, this is what I see and this is what I think, and then you get a word from the Lord, God telling you something, you go with what God tells you. Is what you go with. If the prophet saying, thus saith the Lord, then you need to be listening. If it's a tried, true prophet that you know, you definitely need to be listening. You're welcome, Israel's Fusion. Any other question? You can ask me right quick. 5, 4, 3, 2. They couldn't quit now. I know they're a little delay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye. I'm going. I got to go. Stuff happening.
Multimedia personality, comedic commentator, songwriter, recording artist, spiritual leader, author, and actor. Larry D. Reid is the founder of the MBN Network, owner of LDR Enterprises based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and the spiritual leader of the Reformation Church of Atlanta. You can catch Larry Reid on the BET Plus original series Kingdom Business and on American Gangsta Trap Queens. Streaming online at BET.plus.